morning, sir.
Very good morning, Nana. Yes, Nana, wait a minute. So, today's is what now?
Good morning, sir.
Physiological functions, right? Good morning. Okay, Nana? So, physiological functions. Did we start this yesterday? No, I think.
No, sir.
We just discussed was historical account for all the 5 growth regulators, which included promoters and also inhibitors. Apart from ethylene, a special category hormone, which is more appropriately called a fruit ripening hormone. So, physiological functions in relation to that, let us take number 1, auxins. Chemically, what are they, Nana? Indole compounds, we know it. First isolated from where, Nana? Human
urine.
However, their isolation from the plants is concerned for the first time by who, Nana? FW went. And of course, a nature test is bioassay for auxins, isn't it? Then, auxins. Who coined the term auxin? I told you, Kogel. Term auxin meaning what? To grow or to increase.
To grow.
Information we have already with us, isn't it? Then, in which part of the plant body are they synthesized more? Hormone wise, when you take, Nana, it is from that point of view to see.
Sir,
Synthesized.
can you give the name of the scientist who coined the term, please?
Coined the term, no, Nana. Kogel.
Thank you, sir.
So auxins are synthesized more in shoot apex or shoot tip and less in root tip or root apex. In the ratios of 3:1, 75% of auxins in a plant body are coming from shoot tip. 25% are coming from root tip, Nana. It is that way. And they exhibit polar movement. Naturally, those in the shoot tip move downwardly, those in the root tip move upwardly. So that we call it as exhibit polar movement, which includes basipetal from shoot tip and acropetal. What is acropetal actually, Nana? Upward direction, acropetal term used is inappropriate actually. I'll tell you how it is inappropriate, but it is used. We are going with that. From shooting point, acropetal from root tip. In what ratios? 3:1. Basipetal from shoot tip is okay, Nana. Moving from tip to base. But what does literally acropetal mean, Nana? Acropetal means base to tip. Within a root, they are not from base to tip, they are tip to base. Because of upward direction, this term is used. This is wrong usage. You can better call it as upward, more appropriate. Got the point, Nana?
Yes, sir.
And they show the movement. Auxins move in a plant body at a speed of 10 nanometers distance per hour. See, Nana, how slow moving they are. 10 nanometers per hour. So slow moving. Generally, even short distance transport, when we were talking in the transport chapter, also to cross a distance of 50 microns, not even nanometers. Nanometer is millimicron, no.
Yes, sir.
To move a distance of about 50 microns, the time taken was 2.5 seconds. Remember, short distance transport. Accordingly, there was a question asked to you. How much distance they cover in 1 hour, 1 day, like that it was mentioned.
Yes.
1 year. So that was a bit faster, even short distance transport. So hormones also get transported in the plant body. We talked about their itself, but their movement here is so slow. Yes, beta. What problem? Teacher not there. Bilhar. Who is this, Nana? Make mute your beta. Mute karo. Ayyo. Okay?
Excuse me,
Tell me, Nana.
sir. In material, it's given 10 per hour, micrometer per hour.
Millimeter, Nana.
Yes, millimeter.
Yes, sir. NMM per hour.
In Akash?
Yes, sir. In Akash.
Yes, sir. In material.
1 minute. 10 nm per millimeter.
193, sir.
Page number 193. Under additional information, is it given, beta?
Yes, sir.
Left side, so last.
Yeah. 10 mm. Yes, beta. I need to confirm this. Okay. I'll confirm you, Nana. Tomorrow I'll confirm you, beta. You go by this now. As of now, I'll confirm you tomorrow. Better.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
10 millimeters is much better actually. Nanometers is only a problem. Okay, Nana? Then auxins are synthesized from which amino acid I told you, Nana? Tryptophan, an amino acid, which was an aromatic amino acid. There were 3 aromatic amino acid examples for you in first year biomolecules. Remember, Nana? Tyrosine, tryptophan, phenyl, alanine. Synthesized from amino acid tryptophan. Then auxin synthesis requires a trace element that was mentioned even in mineral nutrition also. Zinc. Auxin synthesis requires A trace element. Trace element or tracer element, Nana?
Trace
Trace
element.
Trace element. Trace element means micro element. Minor
Radioactive.
tracer elements are different, isn't it? They were radioisotopes which are used in tracing out various pathways. This is trace element required. The concentration of them is so less, Nana. 1 microgram could be collected or isolated from, see how much concentration do they occur in. 1 microgram could be collected from 10,000 coleoptiles. How the possibility, imagine, of Avena. What is Avena common name, Nana?
Oat.
Oat plant. Only 1 microgram could be collected from 10,000 coleoptiles of Avena. See how much concentration the auxins occur in a plant body. These are all purely additional, Lana. So next going to the functions, physiological functions now. Coming to the point. Of auxins in the plant body. Some of them are made use in agriculture or horticulture also. One is root initiation on stem cutting, which is used in agriculture or horticulture. Sorry, Nana, there is one more thing which is partly mentioned, better you add. Natural auxins which are formed in the plant body. Natural auxins include that are formed in the plant. It means that formed in plants include 1. IAA indole 3 acetic acid, 2. IBA indole butyric acid, also these are more common, Nana. These two more common. Then
Move the camera to the right.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. 3. 4-chloro IAA. 4th, phenyl acetic acid. These are to a lesser extent, Nana, but naturally formed. More is IAA, IBA, natural. That is important to remember, Nana. Then synthetic auxins. Include 1. IPA. Sorry, more than that, very commonly used in agriculture. NAA. Naphthalene acetic acid. 2. IPA, indole propionic acid. Three, 2,4D. 2,4D, short form. It is also commonly used in agriculture. Is 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Similarly, the fourth also, Nana, 2,4,5-T. Guess and tell me what should be the 2,4,5-T? 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. 2,4,5-T is 2,4,5-trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Simple. Synthetic auxins. They are chemicals synthesized with similar properties like natural auxins. The chemicals which are not synthesized in the plant body, but with the same properties. We call them as synthetic auxins. This list also is important, Nana, when it comes to additional information. So coming to the functions, root initiation on stem cuttings. This is used in propagation, vegetative propagation of crop plants, in horticulture especially. One physiological function. 2, promote flowering in pineapple. Flowering in some plants, example he has given is pineapple. So we take only that. Flowering in pineapple. 3, prevent premature fruit drop and leaf fall. In some plants like citrus, premature fruit drop, bolder stage will occur. So that can be prevented by application of auxins. Prevent premature fruit drop and leaf fall. Also used in horticulture for this purpose. Fourth, apical dominance. I think you came across even at school level also. What does apical dominance mean, Nana? Is nothing but suppression of growth of lateral buds by apical bud. Apical bud will suppress the growth of lateral buds. As a result, what happens? Monopodial growth or racemose growth, which result in excurrent type of shoot system. Excurrent type of shoot system is what I mean, Nana? Have you any idea about that? Cone-shaped shoot system. So this results in monopodial or racemose growth. Growth of stem. Nothing but racemose growth of stem to form cone-shaped shoot system. Conifers is because of apical dominance only now. What is monopodial growth? There is always one main axis which continues to grow and it goes on producing lateral branches in acropetal succession. Branches older, longer at the base, younger, short towards the tip. Like racemose inflorescence, the racemose growth of main stem you are going to see here. And this was demonstrated by scientist Thiemann. Have you come across this name anywhere, Nana?
In Italy.
And Cuvier. There it was. Berg and Thiemann extensively studied about the hormonal nature of ethylene. Here Thiemann along with Skoog demonstrated. Cone-shaped shoot system. Examples can be what, Nana? Eucalyptus, angiosperm, Polyalthia, the so-called Ashoka. Conifers, as it is, with that kind of demonstrated by Thiemann and Skoog. How, what happens actually? It is this phenomenon. You take apical bud, we know axillary buds will be there, then young leaves which we call them as leaf primordia. This is apical bud. Auxin synthesized in the shoot tip move downwardly and have tendency of collecting in the axillary buds or lateral buds. So this is lateral bud or axillary bud, both mean same. When auxins accumulate in the lateral bud, high auxins concentration becomes inhibitory in the lateral bud. Inhibitory due to more auxins accumulation. See the behavior of auxins, Nana. Auxins show different ways of functions at different places in a plant body with different concentrations. Normally, what we have seen while studying about the discovery by F.W. Wendt, more of auxins was promoting growth there, isn't it? But when it comes to lateral bud, more of auxins is inhibitory to growth. And less auxins will be subterminal in position. So they promote more growth in this region. So promoting more growth in this region, so apical bud growth is more. Lateral buds remain as it is. How long this can happen means up till a new node is formed. Imagine here a new node formed, so two new axillary buds and leaves. This was the first one to start with. Here onwards, what happens, Nana? Those synthesized in the tip move downwardly, go on accumulating here in these buds. Now, can they accumulate in these buds which are below? No. So, these buds start growing now. So, these buds cannot grow now. For that reason only, the older branches are longer, younger branches are short. This is resulting in no.
So your video turned off.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let it. Yeah. See and observe carefully. High auxins concentration is inhibitory to growth in the axillary buds. Low concentration just below the tip region, promotory to growth. So here was more growth. Axillary buds remain. When a new node formed, there onwards, they accumulate in these newly formed axillary buds. No chance of them to be accumulated here. So concentration becomes low. So they start growing now. So older buds naturally will grow fast when compared to the younger buds. And this will result in excurrent type, that is cone-shaped shoot system, which is otherwise called monopodial or racemose growth, as demonstrated by who, Nana? Thiemann and Skoog. Then, fifth physiological function is tropism in plants. This is another important thing which also requires a little bit more time. You know what is tropism? Tell me, Nana, what is meant by tropism?
Growth in response to.
Growth associated movement is called tropism. If it is towards gravity force, geotropism. If it is towards sunlight, phototropism, like that you see. So tropism is induced by auxins, by differential concentrations at different places. So you can't take auxins as promotory growth whenever they are high, Nana. At some places their high concentration is inhibitory. At some places their high concentration is promotory. That's why differential concentration at different places and auxins in the root induce, tell me, Nana, what process? Geotropism. We know it already. Same auxins in the shoot induce phototropism, which can otherwise be called negative geotropism. Phototropism can otherwise be positive phototropism. And this was demonstrated by Kalodny-Wendt, two scientists, Nana. So to demonstrate this, Kalodny-Wendt hypothesis explains this. Demonstrated the tropism in plants. He, by placing seedlings of Bengal gram, by placing seedlings of Bengal gram horizontally on the ground. Okay, Nana? When seedlings of Bengal gram were placed horizontally, germinated seeds, Nana. So naturally, it is on one side plumule part, the other side radicle part. So this is plumule. radical. One minute, Nana. Yes, Nana. Sorry. Okay. By placing the seedling, germinated seed horizontally on the ground, Caledonian when demonstrated now. What happens here, you know? Those synthesized in the shoot tip move downwardly, accumulate on which side, Nana? They have tendency of accumulating on which side? Shaded side. Same is the case with radical also. Synthesized in the root tip, accumulate on shaded side, when kept horizontally away from the sunlight. So, here, low concentration on the upper side. Here, almost absent or even if low concentration also possibility on the upper side. But more on lower side here, more on lower side here. See the effect, Nana, how it is going to be. Here, high concentrations of auxins, promotory to growth. See the behavior of auxins, Nana. Whereas in the radical, high concentration, inhibitory to growth, low concentration, promotory to growth. Low concentration, promotory. High concentration in the radical, inhibitory to growth. Then guess and tell me, Nana, now. Plumule will bend on which side? Can you tell me now?
Upward.
Upward. Radical will bend on which side? Can you tell me now? Downward.
Downward.
More growth on upper side, no growth on lower side, bending downward. More growth on lower side, less growth on upper side, bending upward. So this is nothing but positive phototropism. Exhibited by who? Plumule part. What about this, Nana? Positive geotropism.
Or negative phototropism.
Yes. For radical. It is because of this reason, Anna. Differential concentration of auxins in different organs affecting in different ways. So it is not a rule that auxins concentration I should always promote growth. It can be inhibitory to growth also. In the plumule, high concentration promoting growth. In the radical, low concentration promoting growth. In fact, high concentration becoming inhibitory to growth. Where else you have seen high concentration inhibitory to growth, Nana? Even in axillary birds
Lateral bud.
also you have seen. Remember. In addition, auxins also induce parthenocarpy. Tell me, Nana, what is parthenocarpy? Fruit formation without fertilization. So you can obtain what kind of fruits, Nana? Seedless fruits. Obtained by auxins spray. Then seventh function as weedicides or herbicide property.
So,
Yes, Nana, used in agriculture. Tell me, beta.
once can you repeat Chad-Long-Went hypothesis?
Callodney-Went hypothesis, Nana. They demonstrated how the influence of auxins of different concentrations in different organs. Anywhere we know auxin synthesized move behind, so subterminally accumulate on shaded side. What happens, Nana, if they are on light exposed side? They undergo photooxidation. Remember. So automatically their concentration is more on lower side, nothing but shaded side. Thing is, high concentration in plumule on lower side promotory to growth. Whereas same high concentration on lower side in the radicle inhibitory to growth. Like you have seen, high auxins in axillary buds also inhibitory to growth. Low auxins in the shoot tip just below promotory to growth. So apical dominance was because of behavioral changes of auxins in different organs. Understood, Nana?
Yes.
High auxins in the radicle inhibitory, high auxins in the plumule promotory, low auxins in the radicle promotory, low auxins in the plumule no effect.
Yes.
Induced parthenocarpy. Then seventh is herbicides. The synthetic auxins like 2,4-D selectively kill dicot herbs. Selectively kill dicot herbs. If so, dicot herbs can be weeds. In which crops? Yes, and tell me, Nana. If it is a monocot crop, cereal crop, for example, you take rice, wheat, maize, etc. What can be the weeds there? Monocot, so dicot herbs can be the weeds there, isn't it? If you spray 2,4-D indiscriminately, it will selectively kill dicot herbs only. In a cereal crop, weeds can be dicot herbs only. Therefore, it is used as weedicide or herbicide, especially in. So this is used in number 1, cereal crops, because they are monocot crops basically. So no harm to the monocot plants. It will selectively kill dicot herbs. Also, lawns or pastures maintenance. What do lawns or pastures constitute, Nana? Grass. Grass is monocot. And in that, dicot plants, if there can be the weeds. So selectively killing the weeds. 2,4-D is used in maintenance of green lawns or pastures. as weedicide or as herbicide, it is useful there. And of course, they also induce cell differentiation, especially xylem formation is by auxins. And to some extent, they also help in cell division. And they also help in inducing more of female flowers formation in cucumber. Cucumber is cucurbitaceae member. Cucurbitaceae members are example of monoecious, same plant with male and female flowers on it. And auxins will induce more of female flowers. More of female flowers means they help in more of fruit setting. If a plant has male and female flowers, we know which flowers will give us fruits, Nana. Female flowers will give us fruits. So we want more number of female flowers, in which case, especially in cucumber, it is used. So this is a kind of sex determination. Wonderful property. Used therefore in agriculture. Cucumbers especially. And of course, they also have a property of wound healing, but to a lesser extent, Nana, that is not that important to mention. So 10 physiological functions of auxins. You remember?
Sir, can you explain the 10th one?
10th one, Nana. Induce more female flowers in cucumber, Nana. So when during flowering season, if you take during flowering season, the birds which are axillary lateral birds or even terminal also, vegetative bird will transform into floral bird during flowering season only in plants, Nana. That is the thing. In the other seasons, it will go into a branch, but during flowering season, it transforms into a floral bird. Okay, that we see again when we discuss photoperiodism at the end of this chapter, but right now, okay, Nana, auxins during this floral bud formation, if it is a plant with unisexual flowers, male, female flowers, during that time, it induces more of female floral bud formation. It means suppressing androecium formation and promoting gynoecium formation in them. More of female floral buds formation induced by auxins. So wherever a plant is producing male and female flowers, literally we need more of female flowers per plant because we need more number of fruits per plant. Male flowers purpose is what, Nana? Only to produce pollen grains, that is to fertilize the female flowers. And we know the pollen grains produced by one flower can be good enough to all the flowers in a plant body also. So less the male flowers, more the female flowers is more benefit to the farmer because more of fruit setting can be induced by auxins. Okay, Nana? Apical dominance, the tropism, important to understand here. And of course, root initiation on stem cuttings used widely in agriculture, especially in horticulture for vegetative propagation. And their ability to kill the dicot herbs as weedicides, especially 2,4-D, 2,4-dichlorophenolic acetic acid, used in cereal crops like maize, rice, wheat, that will selectively kill dicot herbs, which can be the weeds. And even in maintaining the gardens, lawns also, 2,4-D is sprayed. You spray it indiscriminately, it will selectively kill only dicot herbs. Next, let's go to gibberellins. Shall I rub up this part, Nana? Is it okay to rub up to this, Nana?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cell division, cell elongation, cell differentiation, all by auxins you have seen. Flowering, however, was promoted by auxins in which plant, Nana? Pineapple, not in all, Nana. In some plants, auxins induce flowering, especially pineapple. In some plants, auxins induce more of female flowers formation, that is as seen in cucumbers. Next, let's go to the second gibberellins. How many types are known so far, Nana? More than 100 types.
One.
That you know it already. They are synthesized from, tell me, Nana, acetyl-CoA. The substrate of PCA cycle, intermediate of respiration, can be withdrawn to form it. And even ABA formation also can be by acetyl-CoA. Even chlorophyll formation also by acetyl-CoA. Even cutin, that is cuticle formation also by acetyl-CoA. Synthesis of gibberellins is concerned. Now, more than 100, say about 110 types are there. Isn't it, Nana? And what do those 110 types include? I told you yesterday, remember, Nana? All those are chemically characterized
Terpenes.
and given, as terpenoid compounds, terpenes or terpenoid compounds. And given a number. Like gibberellin A1 to gibberellin A110. So in this, G stands for what, Nana? Gibberellin. A is just a number. Among those, we already have seen GA3 is nothing but what, Nana?
Gibberellic acid.
Gibberellic acid. And of course, historical account is concerned. The scientist names you came across there were Kurosawa to start with, Sawada, and followed by Yabuta and Sumuki. Yabuta, Sumuki have isolated gibberellins for the first time in pure crystalline form. Who given the name gibberellic acid, Nana?
Yabuta and
Yes. Okay. Then coming to physiological functions of gibberellins straight away. No need to go into the chemical structure of them, detailed account, Nana, not at all. Terpenoid compounds, you remember, synthesized from acetyl-CoA molecules, remember, that is good enough. Known so far are more than 100 types, about 110 types, and given a number, and among them GA3 is gibberellic acid. This is important to remember. So physiological functions of gibberellins. We have up to physiological functions of gibberellins, isn't it, Nana?
Yes, sir.
So physiological functions is concerned. One, Removal of seed dormancy. How do they remove seed dormancy was explained by L.G. Palleg in barley seeds. That's why barley endosperm test is bioassay for gibberellins. How they promote seed dormancy? It is anti-ABA property actually. No. Removal of seed dormancy, you can take it as anti-ABA property because ABA promotes dormancy and this is removing dormancy. How they remove dormancy was demonstrated by L.G. Palleg. Nana, what happens here is, if it is a barley seed, what is scientific name of barley? Knows anybody, Nana? Hordeum vulgare, which is a cereal. Which is a cereal and a cereal grape structure, you know it already. With embryo at one corner, which is distinguishable into plumule and radicle pod. Plumule has a protective coverage. Remember, Nana, what was it called? Coleoptile. It is this coleoptile of Avena used as experimental tool when seed is germinating. Then protective coverage for radicle. What was it called, Nana?
Coleoriza.
Coleoriza. Embryonal axis. Sometimes there can be epiblast also. Vestigial part of another cotyledon. One cotyledon, however, is big sheath-like or pad-like. What was it called, Nana? Scutellum. Typical of grasses. These are parts of embryo. Tell me now, what is surrounding tissue, Nana? Endosperm. This surrounding tissue endosperm has outer part called alluron layer. Remember?
Protein.
Layer, which
Protein.
is protein rich layer.
Triploid.
Yes, that separates embryo from endosperm this way. So this is alluron layer. Rich in proteins, which we call it as the brown layer. Even around the rice grain, wheat grain, you see that. And on more of polishing of rice, that is removed actually. So protein part is removed literally. And beneath is starch. Both are parts of endosperm. So alluron layer is outer part of endosperm. Starch is inner part of endosperm. Now what happens is, during seed germination, gibberellins are synthesized in the embryonal axis. Their synthesis is inhibited by ABA. Unless ABA is degraded, gibberellins formation won't occur. So that gap, we call it dormancy. And ABA formed at the time of seed formation in the embryo will gradually undergo degradation. Once it degrades, completely disintegrates, gibberellins formation takes place now. So that time interval we call it as dormancy, which itself is significant. Of course, that's a different thing we discuss later. Now, gibberellins synthesized in the embryonal axis move to alluron layer. Gibberellins from embryonal axis move to alluron layer. In the aileron layer, gibberellins induce the formation of amylase enzyme using proteins here. Amylase itself is a protein, you know, because amylase is enzyme and enzymes are proteinaceous in nature except ribozyme. What was ribozyme, Nana? Remember?
Nucleic acid.
Yeah, non-proteinaceous enzyme, nucleic acid enzymatic, that was 23S rRNA. That was seen, of course, in 50S subunit of 70S ribosomes helping in protein synthesis. That's a different thing. So amylase formed in the aileron layer, now transported into starchy endosperm. And here it converts starch. So starch digesting is amylase. So amylase converts starch into simple sugars. The simple sugars translocate into embryonal axis and used in respiration, and more of cell division activity goes on. So embryo grows into the root and shoot to give rise to new plant. Same is the case. It is just example taken RDM, Nana. They have demonstrated in that. Any seed you take, it is this the gibberellins do. Suppose if it was the one with oily endosperm, then they form gibberellins induce formation of lipases, which will break down lipids and convert them into simple sugars, which will come to embryonal axis to take part. Suppose if it is rich in proteins, converted into the intermediates of respiration. For this reason only, Nana, germinating seeds, the sprouts, if you take, are a bit sweet to taste. Did you observe? Because complex food materials are broken down into simple sugars. Got the point, Nana?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, and of course, in the embryonal axis at that stage, more of proteins and vitamin synthesis activity there. So fat content is degraded. That's why sprouts, germinating seeds are considered an excellent diet with more of dietary property for this reason only, Nana. Okay, I think time is up. We continue tomorrow, beta. The remaining physiological functions. Shall we stop here, Nana?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. See you tomorrow. So tomorrow it may take us only half an hour to finish all this. To discuss it.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Okay. So those who have finished can leave better.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, Nana.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank
Beta.
you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye, Nana.